The wind howled across the lake like a warning. Trees leaned under its weight, and the sky, stained with dusk, mirrored the unrest of the town. Winter had arrived early in Milltown, and for those without a roof over their heads, it wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a quiet, brutal battle for survival. Under the skeletal remains of an old boathouse on the lake's edge. 17-year-old Lena huddled in a tattered coat. She had lived on the streets for almost 2 years now. Once a promising honor roll student, Lena had lost everything after her mother died of cancer and her father fell into addiction. When he vanished, so did her home. Since then, Lena survived on scraps, kindness from a few strangers, and sheer determination not to be broken. That evening, Lena was dozing, her arms tightly wrapped around herself for warmth, when a sound startled her, a splash. Not a small one. It was the sound of something or someone plunging hard into the icy lake. Then came a cry. Weak, desperate. Help. Me. Her instincts took over. She bolted to her feet and stumbled toward the water, the cold air slicing her face. At first, she saw nothing, just the dark, choppy surface. Then, a man's hand thrust up, trembling. Before slipping beneath again, without hesitating, Lena kicked off her boots and dove in. The cold was savage. It bit into her skin, turning pain into fire. But she swam, driven by the fading glimpses of the man. She reached him, hooked her arm under his, and with every ounce of strength, pulled him to shore. He was unconscious, soaked, and shivering violently. His suit, clearly expensive, clung to his lean frame. His face was pale. A deep cut bled from his temple. She rolled him onto his side, checked for breathing, and pressed her hands to his chest, whispering, "Come on, come back." He coughed. Water poured out of his mouth, and then he groaned. Relieved. Lena dragged him under the boathouse roof, used her coat to cover his upper body, and sat beside him through the night, her own clothes wet and freezing. But she didn't sleep. By morning, he stirred. His eyes opened slowly, clear. Steelgrand blinked at the girl, watching him with hollow eyes and trembling lips. Where am I? He croaked. You were drowning, she said softly. I pulled you out. He looked at her, confused. You saved me. She nodded. He sat up with effort. Who are you? No one, she whispered. Just someone who happened to be there. The man insisted on walking, even as he limped. Lena helped him back to the main road, but when they reached the clearing, she stopped cold. Across the frozen lawn stood a mansion, massive, regal, untouched by time. It overlooked the lake like it ruled it. You live there? She asked. Incredulous. Yes, he said. My name is Damien Cross. Her heart dropped. She knew the name. Everyone in Milltown did. Damien Crossy, EO of Crosstech, worth millions. A man whispered about in business circles and local gossip alike. The cold-blooded tycoon who never smiled and never gave. And now the man whose life she had just saved. He noticed her expression. You've heard of me. Lena nodded but stepped back. You don't have to thank me. Just go inside. He paused. Wait, what's your name? She hesitated. Lena. She turned to go, her wet clothes stiff, her body aching, but his voice stopped her. Lena, come with me please. For the first time in years, Lena walked through a door that didn't creak or shudder. The mansion was warm, too warm, and filled with the smell of cedar and something she hadn't smelled in years. Home. Damien called for his staff, but no one came. Off today, he muttered. They'll be back in the evening. He gave her towels, clothes, and told her to warm up by the fire. While she sat there, still stunned, he disappeared upstairs, returning with a blanket and a cup of cocoa. Why were you by the lake last night? He asked gently. She took a sip. I live there, under the boathouse. His hands clenched. You're homeless. Not by choice. Do you have any family? No one who wants me. For a long time, neither spoke. Then Damien said, something Lena didn't expect. I lost someone too. My sister drowned in that lake 20 years ago. I was just a kid. I couldn't save her. He paused, pain flickering across his face. Since then, I've built everything. Money, power, but I haven't saved anyone, until you came along. Lena looked at him. For a second, she saw the truth, not the man the papers painted, but someone broken in different ways than her. He stood. Lena, I owe you my life, let me help. He offered her a guest room, clean clothes, a job at his estate. At first, she refused. But hunger and exhaustion won. Days turned into weeks. Lena worked quietly in the kitchen, sometimes reading books from the vast library. Damien checked on her daily. He asked about her past, her dreams, and her mother who once worked as a music teacher. Lena had a beautiful voice, though she rarely used it. The staff were kind but puzzled. Why is she here? They whispered. Why does Mr. Cross care so much? Lena heard them. She didn't belong here and she knew it. Asterisk, one evening, Damien invited her to a gala held at the mansion. She declined. He insisted. Asterisk, when she arrived, in a simple dress he'd had tailored, the entire room paused. Whispers again. Who was this girl? Why was she standing beside Damien Cross like an equal? Midway through the night, Lena slipped outside, overwhelmed. Damien followed. Asterisk, she turned to him, eyes fierce. Why are you doing this? I'm not your charity case. Asterisk, no, he said quietly. You're the only person who didn't care who I was when you saved me. A beat. I want to give you something no one gave me when I needed it most, a second chance. She stared at him, speechless. He added, but if you don't want it, I'll still be grateful. Forever. Asterisk, that night, Lena sat in her room, staring out the window at the lake. She could leave, go back to the streets, the silence, the cold. Asterisk, but something had shifted, not just in her but in him. Asterisk, as she lay down to sleep, she whispered into the darkness, maybe, just maybe, I'm not invisible anymore. Asterisk, what she didn't know was that someone else had seen her, someone from her past, someone who wasn't happy she was found. Asterisk, and they were coming.